On today's video, we're going to talk about the progress of where the bees are at. So 5 days ago, we installed the bees and the queen was in her little cage with her entourage. So we are looking for the queen to, and the rest of the bees to have eaten out the sugar that was inside the little cage and see if she has gone off and mated. At this time, we hope that she has done that. If not, what we'll do is we'll then pull the sugar out of the queen cage and let the queen start doing her thing. So that's what we're going to do today. Let's get into the hives. Now, today we're going to go into the hives and check to see if the queen has mated. Now, the other thing that we're going to talk about is the three types of bees that are inside the hive. We have the drones and the workers, then the queen. So drones are males, workers are females, and the queen is a female as well. The workers, their job is to obviously go out, collect pollen, but their jobs before they go out and collect pollen is they tend to the eggs, they tend to the queen, and they keep the hive nice and maintained. Where the drones, their sole purpose is just to go and mate with the queen. They'll hang out, eat the food. Besides that, they won't do anything else. So there will get to a point later on in the year that there won't be drones inside the hive. Today though, and for the next month or so, we will see some drones inside the hive potentially. So the other thing too is when the queen has come back from mating, we will see eggs, and all the eggs will look the same. So the differences that will distinguish between a worker egg, a drone egg, and a queen egg are the shapes of the cell or the honeycomb structure that you see. Those will all vary in sizes. The worker bee, their cell is a lot smaller, the drone gets a little bit larger, and then the queen looks like a peanut. We probably will not see a queen cell today because we installed the bees 5 days ago. So within maybe 10-15 days or so, we might see a queen cell. We won't know until later on down the road. So now the other thing too is what distinguishes the difference between the eggs. So what happens is the queens now, after they've gone out on their flights, they'll come back and start laying. All the eggs will remain very, very identical for the first 3 days. The bees feeding the eggs, what will happen is they'll feed them a protein, a carbohydrate, and an enzyme type food. Now this is all produced inside the bee's stomach, then it is fed to the eggs. Now that is called a royal jelly. So all the bees will get that for the first 3 days. So the bees will then put the royal jelly inside the cell with the egg, and the egg will like float around in it. The egg that eats the royal jelly the quickest and is able to get the nutrients out of it the fastest ends up becoming a queen for the most part. They're the strongest, their bodies, their organs just rearrange a lot quicker than the drones and the workers. So for the first, and it's after the first 3 days is when the bees will see that distinguished change. So rather than continuing to give all the bees the same type of royal jelly, the quality of the royal jelly that they end up giving to the cells, the eggs that have digested that nutrients quicker, ends up becoming the queen, and it's a higher quality food source. So they'll continue that, and it'll go on for the next, so first 3 days are an egg phase, and then it's 5.5 days is the next phase for the queen, and then for the next, they close up the cell, the queen cell, and then the queen emerges within 16 days. A new queen, that is. The workers, it takes them from the first 3 days they're laid, then it's six days that they are then a larva, and they then get closed up, become a pupa, and they'll emerge within 21 days. The drones on the other portion will be 3.5 days, 3 to 3.5 days, then 6.5 days, and then they get closed up until 24 days later, and then they will emerge. So that's how the bees become that's how they become who they are. So yeah, we're gonna go inside, check them out. Hopefully they all have escaped the queen cages and are laying. So let's go check it out. Here we go. Alright, so from last week, we have our queen cage here. Just going to give them a little smoke, just to calm them down a little bit. Now, let's pop one of these out to give ourselves a little bit more room. Okay, really haven't touched this yet. Alright, here we go. So, the queen has emerged. As we saw, as we installed 5 days ago, is that there was some sugar on this side here. The bees have eaten through, and right now all that's going on inside the hive is just some of the workers just checking out what's going on. Now we look for the queen. So she should, for the most part, since this is where we had installed her, she should be in this area. Okay, I see an egg. That's a really good sign. Actually, multiple of eggs. So the queen has mated and is laying. So the thing is, she is laying. I just haven't seen her. She could also be out. Oh, there she is. So she's underneath it all. It's going to be very tricky to see, but she is right underneath here. She might emerge. She's moving across. She's right there. She has a big dot on her back. Now that we've seen her we're gonna close this up and we won't come into this for another about 10 days or so, because there's nothing we can really do. We just gotta let her do her thing. So in 10 plus days, we'll be back in. All right, to recap. So all the queens are laying. That's good. More importantly, that they've gone out and mated. So within the next 10 days or so, we won't touch the bees. We'll let them do their thing. They're drawing out the comb. They're bringing in some pollen as well. So over the next 15, 16 days is when we'll start to see the next set of bees start to emerge. So that's where we're at right now. Pretty good day. They look healthy. They're very docile, which is awesome. But yeah, thanks for watching. Until next time, be safe. Peace.